Hello everyone, I'm Lanson. Today I'll take you to visit the Saqqara Pyramids, not far from the capital of Egypt. The ticket seller says recording videos is not allowed, but since many Western vloggers have already recorded it, so here we go. Looking back how I coming down, the feeling of the path to enlightenment. I have to crouch the whole time. It's almost like a kneeling position. And you see now there's electricity installed, a light is on, otherwise we wouldn't have any light. Let's continue forward. It's also a narrow passage. If I stand up straight, it's this high. So I have to be about half of this height. Look up and see a small gap. Now it's been visited by millions of people. Crawling forward. It's a bit tiring. Let's go a little faster. This place is amazing. I'm very excited inside. When I was a kid watching Yu-Gi-Oh animations, all these ancient Egyptian writings on one wall suddenly show up in front of your eyes, like summoning a stone slab. Let's look to the right first. We've come to a coffin. You know, it's a bit scary here. Let's go take a look. Actually, the mummy inside is moved to the museum. It's empty inside, but the guide told me there used to be a person standing here, tried to sell you photos, and he will let you lie down inside to take a photo. I think Chinese people wouldn't dare to do that. This gap is narrow. How did they move the mummy out? And I think those white people at that time, those pioneers, they were quite bold. This stone is really heavy and big, not moving at all. I think visiting these less popular pyramids really has its advantages. There's really only me here. And you think thousands of years ago, so much manpower and resources were spent. And in the end, those craftsmen were buried. But thousands of years later, we modern people have the privilege to be able to admire these things without any harm or risking your life. Wow, this place is even lower. This small room, don't know what it's for. I'll ask the guide later. So you won't slide down. Seeing the light again.
Welcome back. How was it? So I will tell you the price, including very nice lunch. Okay. In a very good restaurant on the Mediterranean. It is 155 US. Okay. Including lunch.
After you hire a guide, the vendors stop harassing you. The puppy here should be called Anubis, right?
Now we have seen the mastaba behind, which is the Prime Minister tomb. Now we are in front of a funeral complex of a pharaoh. This is not just a tomb. The pyramid was for pharaoh. And it is not just a pyramid. It is called the funeral complex because, as we see here, the pyramid is surrounded by a wall. And inside we have a passage. There is corridor, there is columns, there is also hypostyle hall. Hypostyle hall means column hall. There is also an open courtyard, and there is temples around the pyramid. So all these together are called a funeral complex.
Okay.
And it is so much bigger than the mastaba we saw. It is the first one built by ancient Egyptian people, 3rd dynasty, 2700 BC. When we look carefully, we discover that the limestone blocks have been built without using any joint between. There is no cement or any other type of joints used between the blocks, and they just dropped water upon the sides of the stone, so that the sides of the stone turn sticky, and they will manage to stick together. Feel it, it is very smooth. By wax to make it shiny, to make it smooth, and it is so much beautiful that reflects our image because it is very smooth. Okay, ceiling also is original, similar to palm trees trunks. They got ceilings similar to palm trees trunks because palm trees was used before the stone. When they started using the stone, the entrance, we find the passage. And here is a passage corridor. Corridor passage is a long one with 42 columns placed at the both sides of it. This is the first column ever built by ancient Egyptian people. It is built by stone blocks of constructions, and they are all supported by secondary walls to support column to hold the ceiling. They weren't sure because it is the first column ever to be sure that the column will be able to hold.
You said holding the ceiling, but now is it broken?
Yes,
Okay.
broken. Okay,
So how can it hold the ceiling right now?
which ceiling? The ceiling was broken, and the columns as well. This is not the original ceiling.
Oh, okay.
This is not the original. Okay. The number of columns is 42, and it is not a random number. It is fixed. It is similar to 42 Egyptian province. Egypt was divided into 42 province. Between every two, there is a small room where they kept a statue for local god. Every province were kept inside these rooms, and the part of the original ceiling is above.
Okay.
The original ceiling
Okay.
we do have. I used to
So
cover-
the design is pretty different, right? This is the original.
This is the original.
This is the new.
Of course.
So which part of the stone is the new stone?
The white one, the white color one. And it is not all new, it is only the blocks they found and they collected.
Okay.
The open courtyard area. The open courtyard area used to be surrounded by a wall.
Okay.
But it was destroyed. Part of it there, still the original height. But the rest of the wall used to surround the courtyard is damaged.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is a pyramid 65 meter high, similar to the steps. Now we have seen the courtyard outside. This is the second one. Inside this courtyard, the pharaoh, after certain number of years of ruling, or after some years of ruling, he must come and show his power and strength in front of people, because he must do so to prove them his strength and his power, because they believed if he died in the future weak, his weakness will be transmitted to the follower. But if he died strong, his strength will be transmitted to
Okay,
the
I
follower.
see.
So he must prove them that he is strong to keep him ruling extra more years. He do so and race and run and hunt animals like oxen in front of supporters like prime ministers, priests, governors, son, daughter, okay, and that stay inside these chapels. He hunt birds. He hunt animals, and they sacrifice it on this altar. They sacrifice the animal.
I see.
Pharaoh must do so after some years of ruling. He must show his strength and his power in front of the Pharaoh.
The emperor's mindset. Actually, compared to China's imperial tradition, it's quite similar. The more powerful each dynasty, like Emperor Hanwu, Emperor Qianlong, Emperor Suiyang, and Xi, the more powerful these strong monarchs, keen on achievements, the more hardship for the lives of the common people in that era, because these powerful monarchs, they like to make trouble for the common people. They love to make the common people do this and that, do all kinds of meaningless activities, like these celebrations, training the common people to stand in 2 rows, cheering loudly for the emperor, holding various ceremonies, doing various dynastic celebrations, even nowadays, those dictators still doing the same. You see, actually, it's not necessarily the next generation is better than the previous one. After some countries go through turmoil, the standard of living can suddenly drop, and then you see our parents' generation, the accumulated wealth must be much more than those of the same age in Egypt. Now they have to start over from now, isn't it? This guide, he might be my father's age, but he still has to be very respectful to me, a younger generation, because in terms of wealth, they are far behind. That is pretty sad. He still uses that old-fashioned flashlight while we use the latest Sony full-frame camera.
Mr. Chen, allow me show you something here. Look here. White. okay?
Yes.
And just next to it, it is different color.
Okay. It's
Another
like color.
different
Color.
Okay, white, yellow. We found a darker yellow, darker than
Darker
this.
yellow.
And we found also red ochre. Red ochre. And we found also black carbon. So this is how they found colors.
Okay, I see.
In the desert, they collected it and they smashed and they make powder. They mixed it with water and egg white to paint walls. Now, after we have seen the place where Pharaoh must show their strength and the power, and after he succeeded to do so and prove his strength and power in front of people, he must go this house to receive the crown, where they keep the crown for him to take it and receive it and put it on his head. Now he is crowned Pharaoh of Egypt. This is called the South House. For only one crown, the South crown. Behind it, the North House. For the second crown, the North crown.
This is my first time in my life so close. It's very memorable. It's my first pyramid, and also it is the earliest pyramid. Very happy coincidence. I wanted to choose a more obscure pyramid to start with. I didn't directly go to Giza.
Let's go inside. Original construction, all the same as Saqqara, curved wall, original ceiling, similar to the palm tree trunks, and you have here inside where they kept the crown for the pharaoh to take it and receive it. Step inside, don't worry.
So only like a small area.
Place to keep a crown inside.
I see.
Used to store the crown, just this small space, with a light above, light shining down.
Allow me, Mr. Sheikh, show you something very important. We talked this morning when we started talking. Extra plan. If something bad happened to the mummy, they follow the second plan. Allow me show you what was the second plan they must follow when something bad happens to the mummy. Okay, come look through this hole. Tell me what you see.
Statue of the Lameses.
Very good statue. Statue for the pharaoh. So this is the substitution of the mummy, the alternative of the mummy. If despite the protection and the huge construction built around the mummy to protect it, if something bad happened to the mummy, if it is damaged, broken, anything bad happened to it, the spirit goes back to the statue instead of the mummy.
Okay.
Okay, every single pharaoh got the same. Every single pharaoh got a statue and a mummy. They all kept.
It looks really like the Lameses the second. Yeah.
Because they are all similar. All statues
all
are
similar.
similar. This is for Zoser, Djeser, who built the step pyramid. Okay, look here. You find the statue. This is a high copy, and the original one is in the Egyptian Museum.
I see. Is it an entrance?
No, this is not an entrance. This is as deep as the shafts under the pyramid.
Okay.
Just
Es que le tengo que hacer una foto de madre para.
So it has entrance somewhere.
This is entrance.
Okay. Well, why is it closed?
Because they close it sometimes for humidity, to keep it free of humidity. Because people inside, big number of people inside brings humidity inside.
I see.
Los dos para mí son dos maravillas, pero ahora Messi está solo. Por eso.
So many.
They come, they give it in September,
Okay.
last month, or the month before.
In September, what happened?
The tour guide is a very nice person. We may have had a communication error. He said, your standard ticket only includes entry to one pyramid. But he may not mention if you add 100 Egyptian pounds, you can enter one more. So we went back down to buy this ticket, several kilometers back and forth, wasted fuel. He said, forget it, let's stick to the rules.
这太壮观了。 May I ask why they turn off the light? I don't understand.
Mental meditation to feel the place. Welcome to Brazilian group.
So you required the official guide to turn off the light?
Yeah, this is a special moment to feel the.
I think it was the pyramid doing something. Because everybody is quiet, so I keep quiet.
It's moment time.
Oh, how you know so many languages? You're good at this.
I used to travel a lot to China,
Okay.
China and Hong Kong.
Can you explain to me the meaning of what we do just now?
Yeah, you know, there is a way to know things by meditation. Old Chinese used to do that.
Yes, also the Indians.
The Indians and we are a group that we train our minds. And the best way to get knowledge is by feeling. And you need some special condition to make this exercise and make your brain work slower, in slower waves. When you do that, you open your perception and you can understand better the place, not only places but people also.
Time travel back to the history.
Yes.
Your spirit
Yeah,
travel.
mentally,
Yeah.
everything is possible. You have in China very famous philosopher, Lao Tse.
Lao Tzu, yeah.
So I think you can read a little about this. About him, he had the knowledge
I know.
himself, like Confucius also. And we do that. We train our minds. It's beyond. You know, the ancient Egyptians, they had the knowledge that come to the planet. People only studying the history and making the physical studies to know the ages, and they cannot reach to truth. It's necessary to go beyond.
So what other locations you will do the meditation?
The Great Pyramid is for us is very important.
Great
Giza.
Pyramid in
Yeah,
Giza.
Cheops. Khufu. Have you been there?
No, not yet. This is my first.
Your first.
First period.
When you be there, when you are in the King's Chamber, is the magic place. You see with these eyes, you see nothing, only a room, empty room. But when you be there, allow yourself to make an exercise, keeping silence and close your eyes, take a deep breath, and try to feel. There is a special place for thousands of years.
I will try. Thank you. Yeah.